Merry Christmas, everyone watching Waupun Pioneer News. This is Jaden Buckletier. I'm here to interview Mayor Ron Bishop, Mayor of Waupun. He is going to give us a quick year-end interview to talk about everything that's been going on here in town.
It's our annual year-end interview.
Yes, we try to
I
do
think
this.
we do this just about pretty annually at the end of the year.
Yes, we try to do it.
And as we record this, it's Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And I'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thanks for tuning in. It's nice to have y'all.
Yeah. So, Ron, I didn't really have any specific questions, but I just wanted to talk about, the successes that this community has had over the last year. So give us a rundown about things that you've been working on, things that the city have been working on, and other interesting things that have happened in Waupun.
I think for my fourth year as mayor, it was another year kind of building off of the successes from the earlier years. And I really think 2026 and 7 are going to be phenomenal. With the budget we passed this year, we're looking at redoing the north side of the buildings downtown in the alley project, which is going to be phenomenal for the downtown. It's going to add parking. We're going to have murals. We're going to do some more beautification. And one of the things, Shaden, that we've put out there is we just don't want random murals. They've got to have a Waupun historical tie-in, whether it's sculptures, the marsh, the prisons, Klompenfest, whatever. We want a Waupun tie-in, and all of the drafts I've seen kind of go that way. Mm-hmm. We've even gotten some really good ones about different residents. You're better at this. What's his name? Who started the food share program? John Van
Hendel, I believe.
Yeah. So we even have a mural for him in the hopper. So over time, we'll do all of those. You saw this last year. We added to the Waupun sculpture collection. So 2 years ago, we have the girl with the kite called Catching the Wind downtown. We added Rosie the Riveter at National Rivet. We added, I'm always bad on this one, the one at the Rock River at the Harris Mill Park.
Pilates and etchings.
Yes.
And
the signage is coming for that in the next week or two. It's been ordered. That gives you the history of the river and why that's there. You're going to see the sculpture of Mamie Redmond coming to Meadema Fields. She's the softball player who goes on to be in that. I think she's portrayed in the movie The League of Their Own, mm-hmm. and you'll see that, and I think there's a mural coming with that. So we've really built off that City of Sculpture legacy, and moving forward, we're adding to that. But then, like I was saying, in 2026, you're going to see we're going to move on Shaler Drive connection, so you can go from Main Street all the way to the truck stop. And I'm very excited about that, and there's just the Downtown Alley project, and Waupun's got a lot of momentum. We're moving in the right direction. And I know there's some hiccups in the economies from time to time, but inflation and tariffs and all of that stuff. But as a community, we're just doing our thing, and I think Waupun's going to the right place.
Yes, absolutely, and especially our downtown business. Over the last 5 years, we've seen such a great growth in our downtown.
We have, and in politics, I think in life, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And one of the things that I had going for me is when I came into office, the city was finally coming out of the whole COVID thing, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like this built up tension. I think Mayor Julie and Kathy put the city in a good place, and COVID got in the way. Mm-hmm. And then I came into office, COVID was falling off, and we slingshot it. So they deserve credit for putting us there, but I think we've done a good job since I've come in fulfilling that. And you see our city doing really, really well. And I try to point out it's a team effort. It's not just me, because I'm not that smart or good. But we've got a good team of people here at City Hall, and I just think we were in the right place at the right time, and we're doing really, really well. My goal for another term as mayor, if I get reelected, is just to keep that momentum going. Our city's doing really well. I think our biggest accomplishment from 2025 is the fire department agreement with the townships.
Yes.
That's a very long-term agreement. It streamlines things. I think it's a win-win for both the city and the towns. It'll protect the taxpayers of the city, and it provides fire service for the townships moving forward. And I think that's good. One of the goals I want to work on starting next year, if I get another term as mayor, is to clean up some of those township islands in the city. So when I say that, I want to be clear. If you live outside of the city, I'm not trying to come in and gobble you up. But like if you're in the city and you're like a piece of the town, I kind of do, because we got to clean that up for several reasons. Police protection, who's taking care of the street, sidewalk enforcement, all of that. But that's one of the things I really want to do next year is get working on that and then work with the different towns. And I think we made some headway with the negotiations that we had for the fire department thing, that the city is negotiating in good faith. And I do think, Jaden, too, the townships, like, they don't like these islands either. It causes them headaches and struggles they don't need. So, like, the town of Chester can worry about their town, the islands in the city become ours, and I think that's probably a win-win. I mean, I don't want to speak for them. Maybe they think I'm wrong, but I do think that's a good thing that we work on going forward.
Absolutely. And you touched on this a little bit earlier with when you mentioned Julie Nickel. The community center, it's finally reached its first year in use. Tell us about what the senior center has been used for.
I talked to Kathy about this yesterday. I think we might outgrow it already. Julie Nickel, as mayor, she did a wonderful thing getting that grant for us. And I used to joke that like she had the easy part, she got the grant, but I had to not screw it up. And thanks to Kathy, we didn't screw it up. And the building's amazing. And we sent out a thing this fall, sign up and become a member. And memberships are coming in rapidly, which is phenomenal. I just don't know what we're going to do if we have too many. And it's a good problem to have. As you know, I'm in the Tuesday morning senior citizen pool league. We shoot pool. And I'm not old enough to be in the league, but they give me a special mayoral privilege to be in it. And I thoroughly enjoy it. I have a lot of fun. But every time I visit the senior center, there's so much going on. I went to the community center, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. I shot pool. I went down the hallway. The kids from MVP school were singing Christmas carols to the seniors, which was awesome. I went back down the hallway. There's senior citizens doing line dancing, exercising in the gym. Then the MVP kids had left, and I went back down the hallway, and the Grace Lutheran Church was doing a movie, a Christian-based movie on Ebenezer Scrooge the year after the Christmas Carol. I don't know, half the church must have been there. So I got to talk to all of those people. That building is being used. Reaches there, the food pantry's gorgeous. And I can't thank Joel Sturck and Pastor Barry Lang enough for leading that effort and raising the money. They did a phenomenal job, and it turned out great. And it's one of those things like Joel and Barry just have this faith in the community. Like they knew the resources would be there, and they turned out to be right. And Joel Sturck and Barry Lang deserve a lot of credit for that. The food pantry's better than ever. The clothing, the food, the items, that's just a happening place. And that's why when you walk in, there's a plaque on the wall, and it's got the elected leaders. But we made sure to make sure Julie Nickel's name was on there because she was the mayor who got that done, and she deserves a lot of credit for it. And it's a really cool building.
Yeah, no, it's great. We were there a couple weeks ago or was it last week? It was last week. Last week.
Did you play pickleball?
No.
That's the hot thing,
Yeah, no. My property shop. They had their annual.
Oh yeah, they had the
Christmas
whole.
light trolleys.
What do you call it? The market. It was
yeah,
really cool.
that too. Yep. Yeah, I was there. I volunteer for the trolley night. So when they have tour guides,
you and I have done that a few years.
Yes. Yeah. We've been.
Last year it was brutally cold. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was like 0, and we're out there giving. Those are fun, and it's really cool how many people turn out for those. Waupun's a great community, and it doesn't matter if it's cold or snowing. We're used to it. It's winter. We live here, and we like it.
Yeah, no, and this week it's been a lot warmer than a couple weeks ago. It was so cold a couple weeks ago, but now it's beautiful. It's a beautiful Christmas.
See, I like the cold more than you.
Do you?
Yeah, you're always miserable when it's cold. I'm like,
So
I'm fat and have high blood pressure. Cold doesn't bother me.
yep. So, but yeah, the community center has been a great asset to this community for the last year.
It has, and like other things we've accomplished too, and I think people forget it. The new ice floor is in at the ice arena, which is great. The turf went in at the baseball complexes. That's great. And all of these things, if you're a taxpayer, like why are we contributing to that? These things bring people to our community, which is good because it fills up the bars and the restaurants. The hotels pay the room tax. It's money being spent in Waupun. The second point that might even be more important is it's good for our youth. And it's like, Jaden, you covered our meeting a couple of weeks ago. We transitioned the daycare grant to a revolving loan fund for childcare. And I know not everybody agrees with me on this, but, and they're not wrong, but my argument is you've got to have, if you're going to be a community that grows, you've got to take care of the kids. They're your future. And if moms can't have a safe place for their kids to go, they can't go to work. And then as their kids get, and that's the daycare part, and as they get older, if they can play hockey or figure skating, softball or baseball, like the city doing what we can to support that stuff is good. Because kids who are busy and active, they break out of their shell, they make new friends, and most importantly, they don't cause trouble. Like when we have those problems every year with the park bathrooms getting vandalized, it's kind of those loner kids that don't have anything better to do. That's why they do it. So anything we can do to give kids hope and a brighter future is a good thing. And I don't know, I have a soft spot in my heart for the kids, partly because I have some, but I think as a community, the next generation is always worth investing in. And that's why I've pushed so hard for that.
Definitely. So, we did touch on it a little bit earlier. Are there any big plans from the city for the next year other than what you already mentioned?
Well, no, because I do think there are two big things, Shaler Drive and the alleyway.
Yep.
Those aren't small projects and they're not cheap. And I'm excited for both. And I think they're going to transform Waupun. I think having Shaler Drive go through, within 5 years, residents are going to see commercial and residential development along that frontage road that is going to blow them away. Just from meetings I've had, I know there's apartments interested, there's housing interested, and there's some commercial interested, and that's phenomenal for Waupun. And then with the alley project downtown, it's going to make some changes, but it's going to actually deliver more parking, safer driving. We're going to help the businesses with back entrances, and I think that's going to be really good for downtown Waupun. So you're going to see the investments both in the southeast corner, the downtown, and if people are like, well, why are you focusing so much on downtown? And the answer is that TIF district's coming to an end. And so we have the money, the funding source ends in a couple of years. That's why the CDA is going to come to a close. We're working at ways to keep the CDA alive by like making that a revolving loan fund. But our downtown has really done really well. And like I said, a lot of it was ready to go, and then we came out of COVID and exploded. And you're going to have ups and downs in the economy, but our downtown's doing good. And then one of the other things too, like we're going to do some murals downtown. I think we're going to add another sculpture to the collection. Between Bobby Joe Coons' real estate office and John Karsten there's that, it's a driveway today. We're going to not allow it to be a driveway anymore, but it can be a pedestrian walkway. We want to do a mural on the one wall, and then we have a sculpture of two kids with an umbrella, and the water dribbles out of the top of the umbrella like it comes off, and it's a Shaler umbrella.
Yep.
That's the connection to Mr. Shaler, and then we would like to string umbrellas across that top, like they do in Wausau. I took my family there a couple of years ago, and it's gorgeous. So that's going to look really nice. So everything we do moving forward, like in our downtown, we're going to try to have an historical connection, and that's what you're seeing. Like the sculptures we've added, Rosie the Riveter, National Rivet, the girl catching the wind with the kite, Mr. Shaler made kites. The umbrella one we want to add, Mr. Shaler made umbrellas. And then Mamie Redmond, at the softball field. She played professional softball during or baseball during World War II. And
It was in the 50s, actually, but yes.
was it in the 50s?
Yeah.
Okay. But it made that movie, and
Yep.
like it's that famous connection to. I know Wrigley Field's in the movie because I'm a Cubs fan. But,
Yeah.
yeah. So like, there's just so much cool stuff going on, and I just think Waupun's got momentum. Like, one of the things we're going to do next spring is we're investing in Heritage Park, the one with the windmill.
Yes.
And I have to thank David Lemonez for his help on the windmill. He cleaned it up a lot, got it working again, figured out the timer, which is why you see it go on and shut off. And then thank you to Holman Auto Sales. If you've noticed, Mark Holman, he got 2 new really large flagpoles with really big flags to celebrate America's 250th birthday.
Yep.
So he donated both flagpoles from both Holman Auto dealers in Waupun to the city, and they're going to go to Heritage Park.
Really?
So what I really would like there, well, the flagpole we have at Heritage Park is kind of crooked.
Yeah.
It got hit by a lawnmower.
Oh, man.
Things happen, right?
Mhm.
But we can have the American flag, the state of Wisconsin flag, the city flag, and I would really like off the windmill the Netherlands flag or the Dutch flag. The Dutch are in the Netherlands,
Yeah,
right?
in the Netherlands.
So I really want to tie all that heritage in together. And then eventually, I would love it if that windmill was like a tourist information site. Not that it has to be staffed, but like if you parked there, you walked up to it, you got your brochure, it showed you where all the sculptures were, and then the work Zach's been doing from the Historical Society with the QR codes where the statues talk to you. I think it's all phenomenal. And yeah, I just want to keep that rolling. Like one thing I think would be cool, for example, is you're doing your own sculpture tour. When you get to the Doe and Fawn, maybe you get $1 off a drink at the country club or something. But yeah, let's try to get people to Waupun to see our history, to enjoy our arts, and spend some money while they're here.
Yes.
And there's a lot going on.
One thing that the city has been pushing for the sculpture tour thing is something they call AutoCast, which is it's not really a guided tour, but basically it's an app on your phone, and then when you go to the sculptures, it'll like tell you the information about it on your phone, and it's really interesting. I haven't used it myself, but it's something that they've talked about.
No, it's neat, and you were there. But remember when we were at the Recording Angel statue, because I asked you to take my picture at it when I was going to first run for mayor?
Yes.
And those people came through Waupun because they were doing the adult geocaching.
Yep.
And part of it was the sculptures of Waupun and then the prisons. And the funniest part about that is, Jaden, you were there and I asked you to take my picture next to the Recording Angel. They pulled up, and then we gave them this history of the sculpture and the end of the trail. We showed them some other things in the cemetery. Remember that lady says, you should run for mayor. And I'm like, maybe I should. I've often wondered if she ever looked that up. 'Cause here I am. But no, like, it is a thing that brings people to Waupun, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely, and our community is really unique for that. And it's a fantastic asset, and it's why we're so interested in bringing more to this community, because it is a wonderful community. I've lived here my entire life, of course. So yeah, it is really great, the steps that we've made over the last several years.
Yeah, like, be who we are and own it. It's kind of like the prison too. Like, I understand why as a community we tried to downplay the prison and that we're other things, because you don't want to be known as Prison City. But at the same time, we are Prison City, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like, we have the state's oldest maximum security prison. It's to this day, I think it's the second largest. We've got Dodge Correctional, the Burke Center, the pharmacy, the prison farm, and it's odd because, like, if you were to ask me what's the most influential thing you did as mayor, I'd have to think about it. But it was probably when there was a push to close the prison. And I wrote a response to an editorial in the Wisconsin State Journal, so it got published as an op-ed. And I defended the prison and why it should stay here. And do you know who of all people who read that and called me? Was Governor Tommy Thompson.
Really?
And he was like, good for you, fight for your city, fight for corrections. And I've always thought, if Tommy Thompson's on your side, you're doing something right. So I do think we as a community the state legislature really wanted to close the prison and do something different, and we pushed back, and I'm proud of the fact, and it was a team effort, and I kind of led the team, but I'm proud of the fact that as the mayor, I was like the city of Waupun's chief lobbyist and advocate for our community. And I think one of the things that's unique to me because of my past jobs and my connections in the legislature is I can uniquely fight for Waupun. And I try to do it respectfully too. Like, I don't call up my state representative and yell at them. I have a cordial relationship with them. Mm-hmm. But when there's something going on, I let them know. And whether it was Dan Fine or Mike Schraw or now John Jagler and Mark Bourne, when there's something up, I'm like, hey guys, I want to talk to you about this. And they're very receptive to me. So like when they passed the state budget, I asked Senator Jagler and Representative Bourne to come to my monthly listening session at the community center. We had over 70 people there that day. Mm-hmm. And they came and Senator Jagler made a point. He's like, if you live in Waupun, you guys should know whenever there's an issue, we hear from your mayor. And it was very nice of him to say that because he didn't have to. And I don't mean to brag, but it's really nice when a state senator is telling the residents of my community, if something is wrong, your mayor is fighting for you. Mm-hmm. And I guess I feel like that's a huge part of my role, and I'm happy to do it. I love Waupun, and I just did an interview with Steve Hill for the school district that'll air soon. And he's like, why did you want to be the mayor and stuff? And I'm like, I just always liked Waupun. I like our history, I like our culture, I like our values, I like our city, I like the people who live here. And I feel like I have a unique bond and connection with them. Like the whole city of sculpture branding thing we worked on, it just connected with people. Mm-hmm. But I grew up in Waupun. I lived through the 150th birthday. The sesquicentennial back in 1989, there's a picture of me on the wall there as a really little kid at that thing. Mm-hmm. I just think Waupun's a really cool city, and when I tell people it's my favorite place in the world, I'm not lying. I was on a radio station in Madison doing the whole prison thing, and she's like, do you ever go anywhere else? I'm like, oh sure, I went to Marco Island, Florida in the winter for a wedding. It was great. She's like, well, what did you think? I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't Waupun. I like it here. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I'm a dork, but I like it here.
Well, I feel the exact same way. I've lived here my entire life, and of course I wouldn't have started this news page if it wasn't because I love this community.
Yeah, so. And even people who disagree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me, if you do it because you love Waupun. Mm-hmm. If you're disagreeing with me because you want to be a jerk, then I don't like that. But if you're like, I think Ron's wrong, and you explain it, I'm actually pretty cool with that. Mm-hmm. And I have friends who you don't agree with yourself all the time, yep. Right? So I have no issue with that. And that's what makes America a great place to live. We can have these debates, and I'm rambling too much now, aren't I?
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's all right. So any final thoughts, sir?
No, I don't think so. Other than to just, as I'm almost done with my 4th year in office, to run one more time, probably one more time. And by that, what I mean is people are like, is this going to be will your 3rd term be your last? And I don't want to commit to anything because I don't want to, but I can see after 7 years of doing this, being tired of it.
Yep.
But who knows what the future brings, because now it's a 3-year term, right?
Yeah.
But I guess I'm very appreciative to the people of Waupun for giving me this opportunity. I hope they appreciate how hard I try to fight and represent Waupun. Mm-hmm. And like one of the nicest compliments I get is when I'm out in the community. From time to time, people will come up to me and they, I don't agree with you about something, but they'll be like, you love this city, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. That's about the nicest thing you can say to me, because they think I'm wrong, but they're willing to give me the benefit of the doubt because they can see how much the city means to me, how much this community means to me. And it is who I am. I do love Waupun. There's a reason why I was voted in high school most likely to live in Waupun forever, and here I am. I do think it's the greatest little city in America, and I love the people who live here. I love our history. I think it's cool. Like, I love the fact Waupun's not a real word and it's a misspelling. All of that. I think it's a really neat place. The prisons make it unique. I was just downtown this morning getting gift cards for Christmas Eve, and some of the things that the prisons do that make this a very unique position, and I like it. And I love Waupun and everyone who lives here, and I just think it's great.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, well, that's all we have time for here today. Thanks again, Ron.
Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I guess that's that.
Yeah, thanks again.